and just we love your parents to death. And just to see what you guys have done as a family business is just incredible. I mean, I think a lot of people, when they look at that, they look at what you two have done along with your parents and what myself and Lindsay has done. And I think when you see, just the Ortiz family, I love seeing how they built it on their own. That's why I joined Primerica. I never wanted anything given to me. I wanted to build it on my own. I wanted to build my own legacy. I wanted to build my own name. I wanted to build my own RVPs. I wanted to go through the same ups and downs that everybody went through. So whenever that time comes, whatever that may be. Now, my dad is a machine. Y'all know that my dad may live to 130 years old, okay, with technology and his income, right? But, whatever that may have happened, I want everybody to know, that Blake built a business on his own, that Blake and Lindsay had built a very strong business, and that they could lead any and every organization if they wanted to, but especially the Whittle organization, and that everybody knew in this company that whenever that would happen, that the Whittle hierarchy was in good hands. And so that's what I loved. And then I just, I fell in love with the competition of Primerica. I fell in love with the Leaders Bulletin from playing college sports. Then coming into this, it was just something that I wanted to be competitive at immediately. A lot of people started asking me, man, do you still play pickup basketball? Do you still do that? And the answer was not really, because the competitiveness left me from basketball and came over to Primerica. And I tell people that all the time, is that if you're on top of the Leaders Bulletins in Primerica, you also have the most money in your bank accounts and the most money in your wallet. Right? That's just typically how it works. And so I wanted to be competitive, number one. And then I wanted to find people who were competitive. And so, but again, I love y'all's family. I'm honored to be on this. I appreciate it. I won't take too much of y'all's time this morning on a Tuesday morning. But I hope what I'm going to cover helps. And I'm going to share my screen with you. I love this. I love how this whole, the pandemic has been terrible for a lot of people, right? We know that the method, y'all probably heard that, y'all been talked to about that for the last few months. It's been terrible for a lot of people, but I kept hearing people say, I can't wait to get back to normal. I can't wait to get back to normal. I can't wait to get back to normal. I can't wait till this pandemic's over, right? And to be totally honest, I mean, I've had a blast these last 2 months, okay? Now, why? I think everybody has an opportunity in life to make the best out of whatever situation you're in. And a lot of people are in bad situations right now, but I look back and I think about these last 2 months. Our hierarchy broke our record. We promoted an RVP right before this, Donald and Brianna McNeil, who was our third generation RVP. But guys, they did $70,000 in premium last month by 70 recruits, and they've only been an RVP 3 months. It's crazy. They're unbelievable. Huge part of our organization. And then we just promoted another RVP. But I look back and think, man, we promoted RVPs. We had a record month. I was at home with my family more than I've been in the last 13 years. I got to spend more quality time with my family than I've been over the last 13 years. And I spent a lot of quality time with my family prior to this pandemic. And it was just looking back, I was like, man, I really don't want it to end. I want it to end for a lot, obviously, for external reasons, for a lot of other people, for whatever. But I love the situation, and I think you can make the best out of every situation. So no matter how much longer we have during this, or how everybody's transitioning, I see some of you guys are at some offices there. There's 3 people not really doing much social distancing on the front there. No, I'm joking. Y'all look good. I'm glad that nobody. I love the fact. Hey, listen, we had a baseball practice yesterday. I love that people are getting back to normal. Okay. And I'm excited about the future. But at the same time, I think you can make the best out of every situation. And that's really what we did. It's the mentality of, whatever's going to happen. I remember thinking 2.5 months ago, how is this going to work out? How are we going to make it through this? This pandemic's about to hit. We're not going to be able to see each other. My organization has a very tight-knit relationship organization. Like I know a lot of you guys, like your hierarchy does. And I was thinking, man, how are we going to build this thing without the personal touch, without being able to see people and high-five people and hug people and hand them recognition? But you got to be innovative. You got to be able to think, and you got to be able to adapt. Coach K, the great coach of Duke University, says that his greatest teams ever were not the most talented. It was the ones that were able to adapt during the game, the ones that were able to adapt at halftime. That's why they won championships, is their ability to adapt. They weren't the most talented. He said sometimes their most talented teams didn't win because they couldn't adapt and they weren't coachable in game. and their best teams ever were the ones that were able to adapt, the ones that were able to adjust in game, halftime, and stuff like that. And that's why they were able to win. And I think the biggest hierarchies and the biggest, fastest growing organizations right now, okay, are the ones that grew, are the ones that were able to adapt immediately at this on this situation and prior and during. So let me share with you guys my screen, and I'm going to show you guys what we were doing, okay, and what we've done. That I hope this helps you out. Let's see. There we go. Is it going through? There we go. Let's see here.
All good.
Perfect.
Yeah, we can see
it. Hopefully y'all can see that clearly. And on here. There we go. Sorry, 1 second, guys. It's just
perfect.
Going a little slow. There we go. Hopefully y'all can see that clearly. Let me know if not. Okay, good. And so yeah. So again, this is what we start talking about 2 months ago, right? If you see this, guys, Liz, you there? It's clear. There we go.
Yes, sir.
It says
we got you. It's all good.
Adversity causes some men to break, but others to break record. It's all good? Okay. Okay. So adversity causes some men to break, but others to break records. See, we started talking about that about a month and a half ago, that there's a lot of adversity going on in America today. There's people losing jobs more now than ever, and that's why people need Primerica more now than ever. Unemployment goes up. People that used to think that quote unquote security was there, their jobs were there forever. They were never going to lose their job. They were never going to lose their business. Now what happened over the last few months, we know that anything can happen. You never know. And that's why how unbelievable it is that we're in this great company. I'm going to close with something about that. But how awesome is it we're in Primerica, that Primerica during the pandemic, during the worst, probably will end up being the worst financial situation that we've ever seen in our lifetime, even worse than 2008. Primerica had their best 2 months ever, and it's even getting better. But why? Because just this, adversity, when adversity hits, it causes some men and women to break, but others to step up and break records. So I'm going to give you 4 things that we increased over the last 4 months, okay? Over the last few months, that us and our team and our leadership team, and I can't take responsibility for this, it's 100% our team. And I had a little bit to do with, or a good bit to do with the beginning phases of it, but our team, took the coachability, they took the coaching, took what I said, let's do, and they went all in. And the first thing that we did, guys, is we increased our leadership. In the midst of struggle, in the midst of adversity, people look for leaders. They look for people that they can go with. They look for people that they can lock arms with, right? Right when this thing started, I started talking about my little girl. I got a beautiful little 7-year-old. He's not little anymore. He's big. But I got a beautiful 7-year-old little boy, and my little girl's 4. She's incredible. She's just beautiful, beautiful little girl, right? But I started thinking about her, and whenever she gets scared at night, what does she do? She immediately gets out of bed, and she sprints to mommy and daddy's room for comfort. Think about that, because she's scared. She's terrified. Something happened in her dreams or whatever, and she got scared. And so she's coming to look for comfort. What she's looking for is somebody to hold on to latch on to make sure that she knows that she's in good hands, she's safe, nothing's going to happen to her. And so that's what a lot of people started looking for 2 months ago. They were scared, they were terrified, and they were looking for somebody or something to run to so that they could latch on to know everything's going to be okay, to know financially they're not going to struggle, to know they're not going to go through these terrible times in Primerica. And a lot of your leadership was there. You're there to say, hey, listen, we got you. We can take care of you. And that's what I think a lot of people look for, is that leadership. So I challenge all of our RVPs and our top leaders. Listen, there's no more time than now than we have to increase our leadership. Why? The first thing right there you look at is communication. Guys, when physical touch, what I mean by that is whenever you can't see somebody and high five them and give them a hug and see them face to face, when that decreases, you have to increase communication drastically. Okay, it has to increase drastically, right? Communication was so important for us. We said, listen, every day you got to be calling your team. They got to hear your voice. Communication on different trainings and Zoom. I'm gonna get to that here in a second. But communication had to go through the roof, not only with your uplines, but your downlines and with their downlines. Okay, you can't just think because you recruit somebody, but then they recruit somebody that new recruit's going to handle it. No, you got to handle everything. And that's what the kind of number 2 is right there, is availability. I mean, how cool has it been? And it's really helped us out a lot, to be honest, guys, is that I have offices in several different cities, 2-3 hours away. And it's just awesome with Zoom now, because I'm able to hop on a call or a presentation or an op meeting, boom, right there. And I'm able to see everybody and talk to everybody where I wasn't able to do that. It's really helped my organization tremendously, and me, that I haven't had to drive 2 and 3 hours to see people and communicate with people, that I've been able to be right there. And just like yesterday, as far as availability, one of my leaders called me. He's 2 hours away. His name's Darius. He's probably my next RVP in my base shop, along with another girl named Kyla, who's doing phenomenal things. But he called me and said, "Hey man, I got a 4 to 5 o'clock I can't cover." Well, he lives 2 hours away. The potential client lived 2 hours away, and boom, I was able to hop on that call. I said, "Yeah, absolutely, I got you." But that's availability. As a leader, you got to be available for your people, right? You got to be available for Zoom. I can't tell you how many times I've been at the house playing with the kids, hanging out with Lynn's. Even every once in a while, we were having a little, somewhat of a date night, and I got a call. "Hey, I really need you to help me take care of this client real quick on Zoom." I said, "Okay, cool, no problem." Where usually that answer would be no, but what happens now? "Yeah, absolutely, I got you. I'm gonna go right upstairs, okay? Right next to my Saints and LSU helmet, the real football teams, right? I'm gonna sit right there, so they know what we're all about over here in Louisiana. And then also, I'm gonna do this presentation. I'm gonna close this sucker. I'm gonna go right back down to my wife, right? That's what availability is all about. Methods. I think you got to be, and from a leadership, if, like I said earlier, if you weren't innovative, if you didn't start to think about new methods of how to grow and how to develop and how to train your team, then you're already behind, guys. I'm going to share some methods here in a second of what we've done over the last 2 months that I hope can help you, and different ideas. Well, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten with my RVPs, gotten with different leaders, and said, "Hey, listen, I need new ideas. I need new things of what we can do with trainings. How can we make trainings better? How can we make our conference calls better? How can we make our business briefings better?" And I've talked to them, and it's not just, see, that's what's the greatest thing about Primerica, and the greatest thing about the right leaders in Primerica is that they don't just come up with their own ideas and run the play. They get ideas from their managers, their new recruits, their regional vice presidents, from their uplines. You can get ideas from anywhere and make sure you're utilizing that. So that's what we did, is we increased leadership. I think this is such a great quote that I read to my team at the beginning of this. And it says, "As you work to become a person of influence, always remember that your goal is not to get people to think more highly of you, but it's to get them to think more highly of themselves. Have faith in them, and they will begin to do exactly that." See, guys, at the beginning of this, I told our team, listen, the biggest thing that we need to do right now is recognize our people, make them feel special. Now, a lot of y'all know me. Obviously, Eric and Jason know me very, very, very well. And they know, oh, sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Somebody called me. So they know me very well, and they know that I'm a relationship-oriented person, right? And so, but the first thing that we started doing, and they know that I do that naturally. I love to be around people. I love to make people feel special, right? But that's one thing I talked to our team about, is that we have to do that, okay? We're not going to get on these Zoom calls and talk about RVPs and what they're doing and how they're doing. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but we are going to recognize the heck out of the people, the managers, the regional managers, the brand new recruits, right? We're going to make them feel special no matter what they do. No matter if they got a $300 bonus, or I got a brand new girl that's working with us. Her name's Gretchen. She got almost a $3,000 bonus. We're going to recognize all that stuff, guys. We're going to make them feel special, right? And so I think that's very important, that you remember that if you want to be a person of influence, the goal is not to get people to think highly of you, but it's to get them to think highly of themselves, okay? Number 2 is we increased ways to win. You got to think those different methods, okay? Here's one of the first things I started sending out to people, and you can screenshot this or save it. I'll talk about that here for a second. But guys, you got to be innovative. We didn't see a whole lot of people face to face. We did some, it was probably 10%, but 90% of the stuff we did was via Zoom. So here's one of the scripts we started using for potential clients, for brand new recruits. Hey, I recently just started working with a financial company. We're helping a lot of people tremendously during these crazy times with the virus. If possible, I'd love to hop on a quick Zoom appointment or quick Zoom presentation for 15 or 20 minutes to show you a little about it and how maybe you can refer us to people Also, it would help me a lot getting trained and progressing with them. Would you be able to do that tomorrow or the next day? See, guys, we get somebody in, we want them on presentations, as we all know, within 24 to 48 hours. We want them on it immediately, right? But here's the script. You can, now with technology, you can text this to people, you can message it to people. I would rather you call people and say this, right? But that's what we were doing, right? And immediately what we started happening is people were setting up appointments, or people were sending me that potential client's name and number. I would call them and set up a Zoom presentation and then shoot the link in a group message to the trainee and to the potential client, okay? So that's what we did, and we got really, really good at doing that, and used that script tremendously for potential clients. Because listen, how many people have we helped out right now? How many people benefited from our services right now? It's crazy, okay? But again, that's what we used. Number 2 is script for potential agents. We said, hey, how are you? Hey, so-and-so, hey, Jason, how are you doing? I wanted to reach out to you because the company I'm working with is expanding a lot right now and has been overwhelmed with business due to the coronavirus, due to COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. We're currently looking for people right now, part-time and full-time. And I thought of you, okay? If you're interested, I can set up a Zoom interview with the owner of the branch, let's just say owner of the branch, or with the regional vice president, and to discuss more and answer any questions you may have, okay? So that's another thing that we've been using, okay? And obviously I'm an owner here, so from a compliance standpoint, some of you guys may have to put regional vice president or manager or whatever, okay? So, but I know some of the guys are owners, so you can put whatever you want to put, obviously make sure it's compliant, but at the same time, that's what you're reaching out. Hey, listen, we're expanding. People are looking for things part-time. It's a great opportunity to make $1,000 to $2,000 or $3,000 a month from home. And I'll have the regional vice president reach out to you. So then what I just kept doing is they would send me their name and number, okay? For example, we recruited a girl, just give you an example, we recruited a girl named Angela the other day. I think she's gonna be a superstar, but Gretchen recruited her. So I called Angela, I said, hey, Angela, this is Blake. I got your number from Gretchen. Gretchen spoke very highly of you, and I'd love to set up a quick Zoom interview with you tomorrow or the next day for about 15 to 20 minutes. Which one works best for you? So as far as the availability and the leadership, I wanted to take a lot of the bull by the horn. I wanted to be able to be the one that does a lot of that, right? And the cool thing is that I was doing it, but I was involving a lot of the trainers, and I am involving the trainers, okay? So that they can learn from it as we go. So you got to increase your ways to win. The other thing too, guys, as you see here, I'll zoom in a little bit, is the referral. Some of y'all have seen this referral script that I created, but this is one of the biggest reasons I grew my business. And this is what we've been sending out to a lot of people, and we're about to continue sending it out once a lot of our these policies are issued, okay? But the referral's got to be huge right now. Hey, who are the 3 people that you know that just recently had a child, okay? Because think about it, guys. When people ask for referrals, all right, I'm sitting down with Eric, okay? First of all, I'd say, man, Eric, hey, first of all, I need your bicep routine. Can you shoot that over to me? That's the first thing I do if I was talking to Eric. I need to get bigger, okay? I don't know how he's maintained his size during the quarantine, but that's impressive. Number 2 is I would say, Eric, man, I need some referrals, man. The way how we grow our business, especially during the quarantine, especially during this COVID-19 situation, is there's a lot of people right now that need help. So here's kind of what I'm looking for. And then I go through specifics, because when most people ask for referrals, they just say, hey, who do you know? And whenever you say, hey, who do you know I can help? A lot of people just say, well, I don't really know anybody, or I can't think of anybody. It's because you've not been specific. That same person who said they didn't know anybody has 2,000 or 3,000 friends on Facebook. They have 1,000 contacts in their phone. So think about it, that's a lot of people to not know, if you know what I mean. They got to know somebody. So you got to be specific. Who are the 3 people you know that just recently had a child? Who are the 3 people that you know just left a job? Who do you know that just got laid off? And then they can probably list 10 like that, right? Who are the 3 people that you would want working for you if you owned a business? Okay, who are outgoing, trustworthy, hardworking, and giving you a good idea of who to recruit. And they maybe can refer. We've got some of our best agents through referrals through our clients, okay? And then who is the best man and maid of honor in your wedding? If you got married a long time ago, your best friends may not be the same as your best man and your maid of honor, but that's basically who are your 2 best friends. Who can we go see immediately that you would call and be like, you got to sit down with these people, okay? Then basically you just call them and you say, hey, listen, I got your number from, hey, Jason, I got your number from Eric. He spoke very highly of you, said that you just had a child. Yeah, or you just left the job? Yeah. Well, listen, our company specializes in helping people that just left the job. Now, our company really helps a lot of people right now during the COVID-19 situation that just lost their job due to several reasons. But I'd love to share that with you. Are you free tomorrow, the next day, for a quick 15 to 20-minute Zoom presentation? Okay, guys, easy as that, but we're implementing a lot of that ways to win. Here's another thing, and this is I've been reading John Maxwell's Daily Reader. It's unbelievable if none of you guys have read it before. But John Maxwell's Daily Reader. Here's one from the other day. Talks about activity. The good news is that as soon as you start moving, it gets easier. That you got to create action. A lot of times, the virus situation, what it did for some people is it created action, but for others, it created them to be stagnant, them to just relax and kind of freeze. If you know what I mean. The right type of leaders get innovative and they go take action. The wrong type of leader, the ones that aren't the non-successful people, I guess I could say, they freeze in situations like this. They just wait for things to happen versus going and making things happen. But as you see right there, it says if you can take action and keep making mistakes, you gain experience. So don't worry about if you make a referral call or you make a call to somebody and they say no or you make a mistake. As President Theodore Roosevelt said, he who makes no mistakes makes no progress. That's what we got to be doing right now, especially during this situation, guys, is making progress. The experience eventually brings confidence, and you make fewer mistakes, right? As a result, your fear becomes less paralyzing, okay? Big reason a lot of people didn't move right now is because they were afraid. They paralyzed themselves. And then as a result, but the whole cycle breaking starts with action. You must create action. You must act your way into feeling and not wait for your emotions to carry you forward, but let your actions carry you forward. Two more things, guys, and we'll be done. Number 3 is we increase training, okay? This was our training schedule, and I'm very proud of what we've done from a training standpoint. This was us and the RVPs collaborating on this. We do our Monday morning Zoom broadcast with my dad. That's been going on the whole time from 9:45 to 11 to plug in. But then every 2 weeks, we do a Tuesday night hierarchy out meeting. This is one of the coolest things that we did. We got different leaders involved, different leaders speaking. We always shared different part-time examples, which was a big hit of people that lost their job, whether it was a waiter, whether it was a realtor, whether it was somebody in the school system. We always shared those examples of the people who lost their job or lost their income because of the pandemic, and now how much they made over the last 14 to 30 to 45 days with Primerica. That was a huge hit for people to see, wow, this person left their job. They got laid off as a server. They made $2,000 over the last 2 weeks, or the real estate business dropped. So this realtor made $2,400 over the last 3 weeks or something like that. Okay. So that was really big. We did a hierarchy out meeting. Wednesdays is another thing, guys. We do drill for skill every Wednesday at 10 a.m. This is where we get different RVPs and different people involved Sorry, I felt like a dog was on my leg. I don't have a dog, so that was weird. But anyways, so Wednesday drill for skill, where we would get different RVPs involved and we'd answer different questions. We've done like overcoming objections and breaking down life insurance policies and really doing that where people in our organization can ask questions. The cool thing about this is that we started this drill for skill actually 3 weeks on Zoom prior to the pandemic, and it was just a blessing that we had started it already. So we flowed into Zoom pretty easily because we were already doing Zoom trainings for our hierarchy even prior to this happening. Every Friday, or Fridays here recently, we've been doing base shop training and Q&As. And then last but not least, Saturday, our Saturday leadership trainings. We've done a super Saturday, basically every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. where we've gotten different leaders throughout Primerica. But we recognize our people like crazy on Wednesday. We recognize our people, number ones in the state, top in the hierarchy, sales, recruits, bonuses. We do a tons of recognition on those as well. And then last but not least, our Sunday night conference call. And I know this looks like a lot, guys, but none of this is mandatory. I tell our team this, like, none of this is mandatory, okay, unless you're an RVP or you're pushing for RVP. It's mandatory. You got to be on these things, right? But if you're part-time, they don't have to do this. But I just want to give every opportunity, especially because we're doing it here from home, every opportunity for somebody to get on and learn and be and get excited about this great opportunity. One of the coolest things we've done, now I've always done this, guys, but we would do a Fab 5 conference call, which means at the end of every month, we do what's called a Fab 5 conference call. So when the month is done, the numbers are done, we take the top 5 leaders below RVP in our organization, and they speak on a conference call about what they're doing. But what's cool is last month we implemented this. It was probably the best Zoom we did the whole time. Is we did a Zoom Fab Five call where I did a Q&A with the top 5 leaders below RVP, and we take it just off a challenge score. And that was a huge, huge hit for our whole hierarchy. And so people compete so much for that to be in that top 5, so they can be the ones speaking on our hierarchy calls at the end of the month. That's really increased a lot. And then we've increased incentives, guys, in closing. We've done cash bonuses. We've done, like you see here, we bought a bunch of these mask winners. My father-in-law's company does these, so they're pretty cool. And so we did cash bonuses this month. Everybody who does a recruit or a sale gets a mask. We've done like March Madness cash bonuses. We did Easter eggs for cash, mask winners, and we just did a summer beach trip incentive where they're going to compete because we want to bring out competitors, guys. Like I mentioned before, the biggest thing we can do is to bring that competitive spirit out of people, right? I tell people all the time, if you can be great at relationship building, if you can love on people and show them that you truly care about them, you can also hold them accountable and help them. And then alongside of that, bring that competitive out of people. You're going to find some superstars and you're going to find some winners. But listen, not everybody's going to be like that. There are going to be some part-timers, and this is the absolute best business for part-timers. I mean, it's unbelievable to have a company like this that we can do, that they can come in here part-time and make $1,000 from sitting at home or $2,000 from sitting at home during this and go be with their kids, or their kids can be right around when they're doing this. I think it's absolutely unbelievable how this company has done this. This is just the 2 beach houses that we bought here and what we did to incentivize our teams down there. It's actually in Florida. And so, so let me stop this, guys, and in closing, but that's, those are the things I really want to discuss there. But I do want to close with this, and if there's any questions or anything else you want to cover, but there's one thing I want to close with. You know what's funny is that, so literally about 2 weeks ago, so I've always been, I'm not weird like this, but I am a little weird with like sanitizing my hands. I've been like that prior to the pandemic. I don't know how many of you guys, like, I'm a very high A personality, but for some reason I've always like sanitized my hands. I don't know why. Okay. I'm not like a germaphobe or anything. I've just always done it. Okay. But so prior to the pandemic, I had a little bit of things of hand sanitizer, right? And some people gave me some more. But so when I travel and go on trips, I have a backpack, and I was going through this backpack and just cleaning out some stuff, and I found like 2 bottles of hand sanitizer. Okay. You would have thought that I just found a couple $1,000 in my backpack. Like, I was so excited that I found these 2 things of hand sanitizer. I was like, this is because I was almost out of hand sanitizer. Now this is in the midst of the pandemic. So think about this, okay? The value of hand sanitizer has gone through the roof, hasn't it? Since the pandemic hit. Okay, before, a bottle of hand sanitizer was just a bottle of hand sanitizer. You can go wash your hands. It wasn't that big of a deal, right? But think about if you think about during this pandemic, if you handed somebody a bottle of hand sanitizer, it was like you just handed them, you know, $100 or $200. Oh my God, thank you, right? I got a hand sanitizer squirt thing from Legg Mason, and I thought it was the coolest thing that anybody ever sent me, right? Because it's the value. It's not only what you're getting, but it's the value of that in the time of that situation. My point is this, of this weird story, okay, is that the value right now that a lot of you should see in Primerica should be beyond belief. Here's why, guys. And I've seen this more now than ever in the value of this company. I've always thought this company was great. I've always been so blessed to be raised in this great company and the lifestyle that my family has given me and this company has given me growing up. And then now that this company is able to give my family because of our efforts, same thing, you know, as Eric and Jason and Jackie and Brennan now that their parents had passed down to them, right? But I'm so blessed and honored. But let me tell you this. I always felt like, and I felt like, hey, I could probably be successful in a lot of things, but at the same point in time, I wanted to be, and I am successful in Primerica, right? There's nothing more fun than being successful in building teams in Primerica. But the value of this company, in my mind, was already there, but it increased tenfold during this. Here's why. I live in a very nice neighborhood. I'm very blessed. The house that we were able to build and stuff a couple of years back, but around me are doctors and there's lawyers and there's different businesses here of extremely successful people, okay, in Baton Rouge. And guess what's happening to all of them right now? They are taking their pay cuts. They're getting destroyed. They're taking money out of their investments. Some of them are losing their businesses. The guy next to me is a spine doctor. and he makes a killing, right? But I had a conversation with him 2 weeks ago. He goes, man, I don't know how I'm going to make it. How crazy is it in the times right now that you have a spine doctor who makes probably almost $1 million a year now going, I don't know if I'm going to make it, right? And that should increase your value of this great company like crazy, because incomes in Primerica are at an all-time high. We just found, pretty much, knock on wood, we just found that this company is recession-proof, virus-proof. It's anything. It doesn't matter what's going to happen in this country, okay? That in a positive way, okay? This company is the best of the best, and to be able to have an organization that when the economy tanks, when crazy things go on, when people lose their jobs, that the company becomes innovative. They allow people to join for $74. They do temporary licenses, and now we got more people making more money than ever before. Okay, record incomes, record months, record businesses. If that doesn't show you how valuable this company is and how proud you should all be, and I am as how excited, how blessed I am to be part of this great organization. I don't know what does, right? And to be in this time where you should just take advantage of this. I think Primerica, I know it's going to grow. I think this has made our company be more innovative. I think where our company would have been in 3 years is where we are now from an innovation standpoint. Where we would have probably all implemented 2 or 3 years from now from a technology standpoint. We're there now. It's expedited this process for the better. And I think people's now incomes are going to start doubling, and there's going to be people that succeed here more now than they've ever succeeded before. There's going to be part-timers that are going to be making $7,000 and $8,000 and $10,000 a month part-time. Okay, stay-at-home moms making that kind of money part-time, and I think it's going to be I know it's going to be the absolute greatest business situation that a lot of us will ever see. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. I hope that helped today. I don't know if there's any questions or anything you want me to close with, man, but I'm always honored. I love you guys. I love your family, and I'm blessed to be on here.
Man, Blake, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate that. And it's so funny. You said now because of the pandemic and because of everything that's happening right now that you've been able to spend more time with your family. That's from somebody, you could have said it any better, that, you already doing prior to this, man, you already kind of live a life of freedom, man. I look at, we've been friends for a long time. I follow you on Instagram, and I see you on Facebook, obviously. But anybody who knows anything about you, they don't even have to go to Facebook or Instagram to see anything, man. Because I feel like you are pretty much with Bentley at every single Pelicans game in New Orleans. I feel like, and not just like in nosebleeds, but on the floor, meeting the players. Jackie and I were watching the national championship the other day, just kind of like a rerun. And we saw, man, at the end of it, during the trophy ceremony, they're giving, the trophy off to Joe Burrow, Heisman Trophy, #1 pick. And, man, I saw, as you guys snaking in the crowd, I saw you, Lizzie, and Blake, and Bentley right there on the field, shaking Joe Burrow's hand, man. And just what an incredible life to be able to, man. Isn't it so rewarding to be able to put a good amount of effort for a short period of time, to know that, man, this company, if you put in hard work for a period of time, it's going to deliver anything that you ever put into it, man. And I think that's so rewarding. It certainly has for you, man. And what you've been doing has actually been a testament and such an honor and a pride. I know your dad is probably just so elated. I'm sure, like my dad is as well, man, because any other business, I don't know any other, friends of mine who have parents that work in the same business, that they've kind of taken the baton, so to speak, and taken it to another level. So often we see kids who have parents that are successful, they kind of just get a handout, and then they just kind of never kind of progress it from there, man. And to see what you've been doing with that whole hierarchy, I tell our family all the time, man, when it's all said and done, one of the biggest businesses ever in Primerica is definitely going to be, the Whittle legacy, man. So really appreciate you. I got a question or two. We got some new people here, some new people on the line, some new RVPs. Obviously, the idea in Primerica is sprint to regional vice president as soon as possible. And then obviously, the second job is to promote regional vice presidents, man, so you can get that freedom. For some of these new RVPs on the line real quick, man, what kind of advice would you give to a new RVP? And also, how would you go about, I guess, promoting your first RVP outside of that?
Yeah, no, great question. That's funny. I just had this conversation with our brand new promoted RVP the other day, and some of them, I always tell them, man, that the RVP contract is just really the beginning, to be honest with you. I know y'all hear that a lot, but I mean, to get to RVP is the goal, but that's the beginning really of Primerica, in my opinion. I remember getting to RVP, but then thinking, all right, well, now I'm here. Now it's time to really make some money. Now it's time to really do some big things. And, the goal is obviously to get to RVP, but then get the ring immediately after that, and then start jumping diamonds. But your main goal, in my opinion, when you go RVP, is to build the absolute biggest base shop, get as wide as you can, build the biggest base shop that you possibly can, and then let RVPs flow from that. Okay, I want to promote RVPs, right? Right now, I look at our base shop, and I want some of these guys to go out RVP as soon as possible. But my job through them and with them is to get back, and we had a good month, like about 43,000 last month, and I think we'll beat that this month, or on pace to beat that this month. But my goal is to get it back to 50 and 60 and 70, so that when you got a 50 and 60 and $70,000 base shop, RVPs just flow out of that sucker, right? That's because those are the numbers. You can't be running a 20 by 20 in my organization. You can't be running a 20 by 20 base shop and promote RVPs, because RVPs, when they get promoted, should be doing 20 by 20. If that makes sense. So I'm going to latch on to some leaders. I'm going to latch on to people that I think can be RVP, and lead them and mentor them and train them more. I can see which ones I think are going to be there. But again, my goal, man, is to build when I go RVP, and that's what I tell all new RVPs. Your goal is to build a gigantic base shop. Like I mentioned, Donald and Bree, our new RVPs, they did 70,000 last month. Okay. And they got a couple, so that's not going to be that difficult for them to start promoting a couple RVPs out of that sucker, because they're doing 70,000 their third month as an RVP. But that's what they focused on, is they focused on building that big base shop. I said, he came to me and said, hey man, my goal as an RVP is to do 30,000. I said, man, you're too good for that. Okay. Hey, pretty girl, you got the thing. Say, hey, she's listening in. She's so cute. So I told them, man, you guys are better than that. You can't. You did $30,000 as a regional manager. You need to start looking at bigger and better and do 50, right? And then they end up doing 70. Okay. So I think the thing is that focusing on them, the RVPs in general, when they go RVP, a lot of times people, and this is the last thing I'll say to this, that they're regional managers, right? So they're used to seeing their names at the top of the leaders bulletin. They're having these big teams and stuff like that, right? And then they go RVP, and now they're competing against the big dogs, and they get a little scared, okay? Because they go from being at the top of the leaders bulletin, getting all this recognition, their name called all the time, blah, 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 and now they don't get any of that, okay? So that's kind of a shock to the system. But the kicker is, for the right types of leaders and the right types of RVPs, I said, well, it's only going to be a short period of time before they start hearing my name again, but now it's going to be RVP. And when you hear your name at RVP, that means way more than hearing your name as a regional manager. Okay, from a cash flow standpoint, from a lifestyle standpoint, huge difference. Okay, so yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Thanks for that, man. I really do appreciate that. We as customary, before we close out, we always want to bring on our head coach to kind of see if he has any kind of thing want to address to the hierarchy. So, Coach Ed, are you on? Dad, you there?
Yeah, right here, man. I'm telling you. Hey, what a call! Awesome call. All I want to know, Blake, is where is that beach house? Because we are in the process. We are in the initial stage of going that way. So I know that Brent and Jackie are going to get right back with you on that one. But hey, thank you so much for the call. Absolutely phenomenal. And you're absolutely right. These times right here is, I don't know what's going on, but I mean, they're blessings. Okay, they're blessings, and we're just running with it. Okay? And what I mean by that is, right now we're on the 19th of the month. All right. The numbers that we have right there are numbers that we usually, we don't even get to those numbers by the end of the month, okay? But right now we're sitting at 190 recruits, which is phenomenal. We usually end the month with about 110 and 120. Right now we're sitting at 190 recruits, and we're sitting at almost 70,000 in premium.
Wow.
All right, as a hierarchy there, and we're just taking this to our goal is to, man, we got to take this to the ruby ring. Everybody's income is growing. Their business all across the board is growing, including ours and all our RVPs. You know, and we've been tracking that. So we're making a run, man. We're making a run. We made a decision. You know, sending a message to your dad, and I basically said, hey, listen, I need your help. You know, because we're going on our ruby ring run. By convention of 2021. So we're putting everything together for us to get there. So, and what you just said right now just opens up the dream, the vision that it can be done. Incomes are doubling, and I know that we can do this thing, okay? I know we definitely can do this thing, you know, and all we got to do is just be humble about it, just be thankful about it, man, and just be able to help out as many folks as we can out there. And you're absolutely right, man. There's a lot of folks struggling, and this is our time. This is the time where you know, this is where we would be at 3 to 5 years from now. All right, so we just gotta take this thing and just embrace it. And I'm telling you, God is all over this company. I mean, I'm tough for where we're at right now and everything that we've been through. I mean, as a country, and Primerica still going strong and stronger every month. It is such a blessing, man. And we got to embrace that thing. We got to be thankful about it. And we just got to continue running with it. So I thank you, Blake. And my regards to your family. That's our role model, okay? That's what we track as well. You know, we follow, you know, you show me a success. Anytime I look at a successful person, to me, what determines being successful, if you got a great family, your kids, and man, I'll tell you what, that's me. And I know that Bill has done a phenomenal job with you guys, with you know, Blake, Lauren, all you guys, you know, just phenomenal. Lindsay, so proud of you guys, man, and thank you so much for helping us out and being on this call. And yeah, we truly appreciate you, and we all the folks that were on this call, you know, which is a record number here. So thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So I pass it over to the great Jason and Eric Ortiz there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes,
thank
sir.
you so much,
Once again,
man. You guys are the best. We love y'all.
Absolutely. Hey, Blake, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Listen, man, honestly, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for getting on this call and taking some time with us, man. I know your time is extremely valuable. We don't take it for granted, but hey, man, thank you once again. So it's been an absolute honor and privilege to have you on the call. If you need anything whatsoever, don't hesitate in letting the Ortiz hierarchy know, any one of us, anything you guys need, okay? So appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. And once again, y'all, Ortiz Aviator Hierarchies, listen, don't forget about that goal. Our goal has always been, you know, for this month, 500 recruits, 250,000 in premium across the board. Just like Coach said, just like Dad said, we're sitting at 190 by about 70,000 right now. We got some work cut out for us, but look, we got 13, 14 days to the end of the month. Let's get after it. Let's take all this information, this beautiful information that we heard from Blake. And look, it doesn't make us a difference. It doesn't make us a dang difference if we don't take this information and apply it. Knowledge is only power if it's applied. So let's look at taking what we've heard from today, applying, tweaking whatever we need to have, you know, adjusted in our business, and let's use it to make sure that, man, we really crush this thing and move on to hit some production record numbers for this month. So other than that, thank you so much once again, Blake. Any closing thoughts, any closing remarks, anything like that, my man?
No, yeah, I just want to tell Ed Vaughn, thank you very much for those kind words. You know, Eric, Jason, Jackie, Brendan, y'all are the best. I really appreciate it. Y'all's whole hierarchy. Y'all are part of such a great organization. And I love doing this. I love speaking to great teams and great people. And that's what you guys are. And so, yeah, if y'all need any other information, you know, y'all know how to reach me as far as if you need any of that information or any of the stuff you want me to send you that I just covered today. Y'all got your leaders got my cell phone. You got my email address. I'll be plenty happy to send you whatever you guys need to help out. But love you guys and thank y'all so much. Y'all are the best. Can't wait to see y'all here soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. With that being said, hey, let's have an awesome and incredible day. And we close out with We Are Aviators.
Out.